What's up, comic fam? The next chapter in the DCEU Aquaman hits theaters in just a couple of weeks. And for our last episode, we posted the history of Aquaman's half-brother, Orm, aka Ocean Master. So today we're taking a look at another major villain in the movie and Aquaman's greatest nemesis, Black Manta. Now you may be wondering why Ocean Master would be the main villain of the film if Black Manta is considered Aquaman's greatest archenemy. It's a valid question, but I can see why they wanted to lead off with Aquaman battling his brother for the throne of Atlantis. In any case, Black Manta is still in the film and he looks incredible, like he's being ripped right from the comics. Speaking of comics, that's what I'm here to talk about, specifically his comic book origin, as I'm sure many of you will be curious since he's making his big screen debut. Black Manta was created by writer Bob Haney and artist Nick Cardy, and first appeared in Aquaman issue 35 in September of 1967. With that said, Black Manta, like most comic book characters, have had many different retellings and reimaginings of their origin over the years. And normally I just pick the one that's most widely accepted or loved by the fans. But with Black Manta, I want to do something a little different and touch on the three primary origins he's had over the years, as I'm not exactly sure which one they're going to be pulling from for his appearance in the Aquaman live-action movie. With that said, we first got his origin many years after his creation in issue 6 of the early 90s Aquaman series. In the issue, Black Manta gives his origin via a flashback. He was a young boy who grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and one of his favorite things to do was play by the Chesapeake Bay. One day, while playing by the water, he was kidnapped by seamen who forced him to work on their boat doing whatever they needed. They would go days without giving him food or water and physically and possibly sexually abused him. I know, it's pretty dark stuff. To say his life turned to crap is an understatement. As the young Black Manta put it, he was stuck on the nothing but emotionless sea. But one day, when being forced to scrub the deck, he saw a glimmer of hope as he saw Aquaman swimming with dolphins nearby. But Aquaman didn't see or hear him, and as Manta put it, I called to the sea for help, but it did not answer. The hated sea left me to the indignities, to the pain with no other choice. So realizing he was gonna have to save himself, he snapped and stabbed his captors to death, and says, I learned how to survive. How to kill to survive, to kill what you hate. And he now hates the emotionless sea as he put it, and Aquaman as he's its ruler. He was determined to one day get his revenge and become the sea's master. Now that's his first one, but if you didn't like that one, don't worry, we still have two more left. The next one is from Aquaman issue 8 from his early 2000s title. In this retelling, Manta was once a young orphan autistic kid who was placed in, get this, a wing of Arkham asylum. He would scream uncontrollably whenever the attendants tried to tuck him in bed, because to him, the soft touch of cotton sheets gave him excruciating pain. Yet he found sublime in the freezing cold water. And since this is Arkham, 9 times out of 10, you could bet that your doctor or nurse is horrible and won't know how to deal with you. So they restrained the poor kid to the bed with straps. The only time the boy seemed to find comfort is when he was watching Aquaman on TV. He would literally just repeat the words, swim in love, while watching Aquaman. It was pretty sad. This would eventually lead to them doing experimental treatments on him. One of the experimental treatments performed on him worked, but it made him violent. So much so, he stabbed his doctor in the eye with a syringe and then escaped. When he grew up, he became Black Manta, designing the black wetsuit with a helmet with the huge red eyes on it that was able to shoot red rays. And of course, loving cold water and being extremely violent, he would eventually come into conflict with Aquaman. It's also around this time we find out Black Manta's real name is David Hyde. And this, my friends, brings me to his most current origin and my personal favorite, and that's the one given to him by Jeff Johns during the New 52. In this modern take, Black Manta is a treasure hunter and mercenary. He worked with his father, who was the captain of the boat, while Manta was the diver. Eventually, Black Manta would be hired by Dr. Shin, a marine biologist, who was a good friend of Aquaman's dad, Tom Curry. So good, in fact, he mentored Aquaman when he was a boy after his father discovered his son's unique abilities. Anyway, Shin hired Black Manta to retrieve a blood sample to prove that he was of Atlantean heritage, as he became obsessed with finding the lost city of Atlantis. Of course, this didn't go over well with Aquaman's dad, Tom Curry, and he died having a heart attack while defending his son. Author, wanting revenge, eventually tracks down Black Manta on his boat in the middle of the ocean on a stormy night and kills him by strangling him with one hand. The problem is he killed the wrong guy. He killed Black Manta's dad, thinking it was Manta, as he was the only one on the boat at the time, as Manta was diving and emerged right after Arthur killed his dad. And because of this, Black Manta left his treasure hunting career behind him to seek revenge on Aquaman by doing whatever he could to destroy his life. But remember, Manta was also responsible for the death of Aquaman's father. Thus the two would be locked in a circle of revenge forever. And that's why this is my favorite origin for Black Manta. The fact that they both are responsible for the death of each of their fathers is a super compelling and interesting circle of revenge and hate. With all that that said, those are Black Manta's origins throughout the years, so let's move on to see what his powers and abilities are all about. Black Manta has an immense arsenal of weapons, equipment, and vehicles, most of which he personally designed. He's also incredibly wealthy, as he's amassed a small fortune from his time as a treasure hunter. His most popular piece of equipment is his diving suit, which allows him to survive extremely deep depths underwater, as well as protect him from cold and pressure changes. It's also completely bulletproof and gives him a degree of superhuman strength and durability, allowing him to survive most major injuries. The suit also grants him the ability to jump great heights. Most notably though, he wears a manta-shaped helmet that has 2 huge red eyes that grants him infrared and scope vision, as well as his most popular attack, his extremely powerful optic blast that can kill metahumans. He also has an array of other weapons, such as concealed blades on each of his forearms, that are each capable of cutting metahumans. But altogether, Black Manta is one of the most ruthless supervillains in the DCU. With all of that info pumping through your brain, I'm sure you're looking for some Black Manta reading recommendations. So read Aquaman Volume 2 The Others, Aquaman Volume 2 Black Manta Rising, Issues 5 and 6 of the 92 Aquaman series, Aquaman Issue 452, and Brightest Day, as it contains an awesome arc with Black Manta and Aquaman. And just like that, that is going to bring another episode of Variant to a close, but remember to check out our website, variantcomics.com, to keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also check us out on social media like our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links for all of that is in the description below, but I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.